Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Gosh, I can't tell if, hang on just a minute. I hope my mic is working. It looks like it is. Let me try something. Okay. Okay. Now I can see it. All right. So we are back again to discuss the case of Courtney Clenney, who is the OnlyFans model. She is accused of murdering um, her boyfriend at the time. His name was Christian Obumseli. This was back in April of 2022. We have done some previous live streams about this. We went over like a press conference. We did some videos. We showed, the videos that showed like some past, um, excuse me, some past incidences with them. Um, how she is really quite abusive to him. I am also waiting for Triple L to come on. She's going to join us here, hopefully in a few minutes. Um, Today, what I had planned was we're going to go over, I have some videos to go over, and I also have the PCA to go over. I'm not sure how long this will be. My goal is to now start, I'll start with the PCA, and then we'll do her bond hearing and what her lawyer says, because she is claiming this was self-defense. Even if you've seen any of our previous lives about this, it's clear this isn't self-defense. She's has been the aggressor in quite a few incidents. Um, there was even a prior domestic violence uh, incident with them, and she was the aggressor and was charged with that one. Um, so yeah, let's get into it while we wait for Triple L to come on. So I'm going to share my screen. Give me just a minute. If you hear cats in the background, I have 3 cats. You can see one moving around in the blur back there. I'm sorry, it's really blurry, but it is what it is. I um I try my fiance is gonna be probably in and out. He's on the phone with his dad right now. Um, and he's got some appointments to go to. Um, but point is I have 3 cats, and you think you just saw one of the orange ones just kind of move around there. But anyways, let me get my screen shared. This is the affidavit of probable cause. Okay. Oh gosh, my signal was showing weak. Oh gosh. One moment. Triple L, if you're listening, do you need the link again? I know I had emailed it to you, but I can um, put it in the comments if you need it again. But here we go. So this is the arrest warrant form, 11th Judicial Circuit, Miami-Dade County, Florida. She was initially arrested in Hawaii, then she was extradited to Florida where this all happened. Hang on, what is she saying here? Okay, that's okay, Triple L, take your time. Okay. Where's my mouse? Okay, there's this. Is to all and singular sheriffs of the state of Florida, greetings. You are hereby commanded to immediately arrest the defendant and bring him or her before me, a judge in the 11th Judicial Circuit of Florida, to be dealt with according to law. Defendant's name, Clenney, first name Courtney, middle name Taylor. Uh, she also had another alias she went by that I can't think of right now. She's or was an OnlyFans model. Um, I think she just went by Courtney Taylor, but I'm not sure. And it lists her information there. So before me personally come Bergeno, your main affiant, who, being duly sworn, states that the defendant, Taylor Clenney, did commit the acts stated in the attached statement of facts. Based upon this sworn statement of facts, I find probable cause that Courtney Taylor Clenney did commit the crimes of, and then you have the charge number, the felony, the count, murder in the second degree with a weapon, and no bond. She claims that she um, threw the knife. Apparently, it threw in the air like 10 feet and once landed right in the perfect spot, apparently, to ultimately unaliving him. She did not call 911 for like 13 minutes, by the way. Um, we showed the body cam in the last live, and he was still alive. He wasn't pronounced dead until um, sometime later, a couple hours later at the hospital. Um, but yeah, she waited 13 minutes to call 911. In the meantime, a neighbor had called 911, and then she had also called her mother first before she ultimately decided to call 911. Um, to continue, in Miami-Dade County of Florida, contrary to Florida statutes and against the peace and dignity of the state of Florida, and then City of Miami Police Assistant State Attorneys Kathleen Hogue, Khalil Quinnen, and then felony full extradition because again she was extradited from uh, Hawaii to Florida. And this was on August 4th of 2022, no bond. And I'm also going to go show the bond hearing, by the way. First appearance, judge may not modify condition of release and to answer unto the state of Florida on an information or indictment filed against him or her by the state attorney for the charges of. So, in the Circuit Court of the 11th Judicial Circuit in and for Miami-Dade County, affidavit in support of arrest warrant before me, Miguel de la, a judge of the Circuit Court of the 11th Judicial Court in and for Miami-Dade County, Florida, personally appeared Detective Yermaine Braceno of the City of Miami Police Department, who, being by me duly sworn, deposes and says that there is probable cause to arrest Courtney Taylor Clenney, a white female, date of birth 1996, driver's license Florida, for one count of murder in the second degree of Christian Obumseli, hereinafter the victim, with a weapon, to wit, a knife, a life felony in violation of Florida statute. Hang on. Hi there, Triple L. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hi.
can you hear me?
Oh, there you are. I can hear you. I'm just going over the PCA.
Okay, good. So sorry.
That's okay.
Okay,
So pretty much just started. Um, I mean, I went over this.
I'm gonna be getting us on TikTok right now.
Are you on TikTok? Or you're getting on TikTok? You want me to continue? Okay, Triple L, I'm just going to continue. So, affiant's background. Your affiant, Detective Yermaine Braceno, is a detective in MPD's homicide unit. Your affiant has almost 5 years of experience as a detective with prior experience in MPD's robbery unit. Your affiant specializes in the investigation of murders, attempted murders, robberies, false imprisonment, and kidnappings. Your affiant was assigned as the lead investigator in the April 3rd, 2022 murder of Christian Obumseli, documented under MPD case number. Facts in support of probable cause. This affidavit is being submitted for the limited purpose of establishing probable cause and, therefore, does not include every aspect, fact, or detail surrounding this investigation. So, 1. Initial response. MPD and City of Miami Fire
Oh,
Rescue
I think I
responded
have been
to
frozen
one.
up until now.
What's that?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think we have a delay, but I was frozen up until now, I think. I think I'm good.
Okay. Okay. So, initial police response. MPD and City of Miami Fire Rescue responded to one Paraiso Residences, 3131 Northeast 7th Avenue, Unit 2201 in Miami, hereinafter one Paraiso, regarding a male suffering from an apparent stab wound on April 3rd of 2022. Upon arrival, officers located the defendant cradling the body of the victim with an apparent stab wound to the chest. The defendant was taken into custody and officers rendered aid to the victim until fire rescue arrived. The victim was transported to Jackson Memorial Hospital, Ryder Trauma Center, where he succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced deceased by Dr. Mesoso. The defendant was taken to MPD headquarters where, post Miranda, she provided an audio and video recorded statement. Following the defendant's statement, she was released pending further investigation and consultation with the state attorney's office. So 4 months went by. She wasn't arrested until August of 2022. In Hawaii, where she had, by the way, was also in um, rehab. I believe they said for depression and some drug related issues is all that I know at this point. So, number 2, the investigation. The victim's body was transported to Miami-Dade County Medical Examiner's Department. An autopsy was performed by Chief Medical Examiner Kenneth Hutchins. Dr. Hutchins determined that the cause of death was a stab wound to the chest and the manner of death was homicide. Specifically, he found that the victim was stabbed and that the knife punctured the subclavian artery in his right chest. The knife entered in a downward angle to the depth of 8 centimeters. Following the ME's findings, MPD presented and consulted with the state attorney's office regarding the initial facts. As a result, various investigative steps were taken by MPD and the state attorney's office, including several warrants and subpoenas. Additionally, information was received from other out-of-state law enforcement agencies. While not an exhaustive list, MPD investigators and state attorney's office prosecutors have reviewed video and recorded statements, 911 calls, records, and data, including cell phone extraction data, collectively referred to herein as the evidence. Accordingly, evidence obtained showed the defendant and victim had a tempestuous relationship since November of 2020, with multiple incidents of domestic violence from both sides over the period of their relationship. When Pariso security and building staff documented so many incidents of arguing, including complaints from tenants as far as 2 floors above the defendant and victim's unit, that when Pariso management was moving toward legal action to evict the defendant and victim from the condominium. That's new. I didn't actually know that. Did you?
No, I didn't know that either.
But it makes sense. They
Hmm.
were there, I believe, only about 3 months,
Yeah.
and there
Wasn't it
was a lot.
January that they moved in there? Something like that?
Yeah, so 4 months, 4 months. Um, and we showed on a prior live um, the elevator incident of her hitting him, and in the first live we showed them in their apartment, somebody filming them where she's just repeatedly attacking him. There's another we showed other videos too. She's just
She's out
out
of
of her
control.
mind.
I wonder why they left Texas. That's weird to me. Unless, I don't know.
I don't know. Guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
While certainly not one-sided, the evidence shows there were prior incidents of the defendant being physically violent with the victim. For example, in July of 2021, the defendant was arrested in Las Vegas for domestic battery on the victim in their hotel. Similarly, surveillance from one Pariso showed an incident in February 2022 where the defendant aggressively attacked the victim in the elevator. The defendant and victim moved into the apartment at One Paraiso in January of 2022. Almost immediately, incidents of violence and arguments began, with One Paraiso security and building staff documenting many incidents. This tumult also caused the defendant and victim to separate various times, including the last week of March 2022, when the defendant expelled the victim from their collective apartment while the defendant's mother was in town. After the defendant's mother left to go home to Texas, the defendant and victim rekindled their relationship on Friday, April 1st of 2022. The victim moved back into the apartment at that time. Arguments began almost immediately, with police responding and contacting the defendant, who appeared intoxicated when she made the report on the evening of April 1st of 2022. Evidence shows that Sunday, April 3rd, 2022 began peacefully, with the defendant and victim playing with their dogs in the apartment. At some point, the victim left their apartment and returned with Subway sandwiches for himself and the defendant. Key fob records show that a victim left the apartment at 1:15 p.m. and returned at 4:32 p.m. Surveillance video shows the victim returning to the apartment at that time via service elevator 1 with their 2 dogs, and actually leaving the elevator at 4:33 p.m. At the same time, the defendant finished and uploaded an Instagram live video to her page. Call detail records showed the defendant called the victim at 4:01 p.m., just before she went live on Instagram, and again at 4:33 p.m., shortly after posting the live video and his arrival to the apartment. Based on phone records and testimony from the defendant's mother, Deborah Clenney, hereinafter D. Clenney, via a recorded telephone call with the police, a time frame for when the stabbing occurred was able to be determined. In that recorded call, D. Clenney confirmed she was on the phone with the defendant via 2 phone calls that started at 4:43 p.m. and continued until 4:56 p.m. D. Clenney further confirmed she was on the phone with the defendant at the time of the incident, thus the stabbing must have occurred between 4:43 p.m., fewer than 10 minutes, after the victim returned to the apartment, and 4:57 p.m. when the defendant called 911. The defendant's call detail record shows the aforementioned calls reflecting the defendant called D. Clenney at 4:43 p.m. for a call that lasted just over 6 minutes until 4:49 p.m., and a second call at 4:49 p.m. for a little over 7 minutes until 4:56 p.m. Accordingly, the evidence establishes that the stabbing must have occurred in the intervening 13 minutes. At the same time that the defendant called D. Clenney, her neighbors began calling Juan Paraiso to report a disturbance at the apartment. When Paraiso security called 911 at 4:46 p.m., notifying them of the disturbance. 11 minutes later, at 4:57 p.m., the defendant called 911 to inform the police the victim was suffering from a stab wound and requesting help. On that call, the victim can be heard in the background repeatedly saying he is dying and cannot feel his arm. The defendant is also heard saying, "I'm so sorry, baby."
She's so gross.
In her telephone recorded statement to the police on the date of incident, D. Clenney stated she heard the defendant yelling at the victim to leave the apartment, and the defendant saying the victim was lying. Not laying, but lying. In her explanation to the police regarding the content of the phone calls of that day, D. Clenney did not say she discussed the incident with the defendant. However, investigators know D. Clenney did communicate with the defendant about the incident because investigators saw a text message from mom on the defendant's phone recorded at 5:25 p.m. that mentions self-defense. and advised her not to say anything to investigators without an attorney. In addition to omitting her conversations with the defendant, Clenney's recorded statement also admits any claim that the defendant said she was being attacked by the victim during the call. Her story just keeps
I
getting.
think the video is going to show all the truth.
Mm-hmm.
They can say whatever they want.
Yeah. And we'll go over in another live. Um, there's been some issues, by the way, with her parents.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but just so you guys know, she did obtain an attorney that evening when they brought her into questioning a couple hours later. So although the defendant admitted to having caused the victim's injuries in her post-Miranda recorded statement, she also provided several inconsistent accounts about the incident. The defendant claimed she armed herself with a knife in response to the victim having shoved her against the wall by the neck, though not choking her, and then she claimed he threw her to the ground, but then allowed her to get up. And in the previous live, they took pictures you see in the video of several hours later in the police interrogation. There's no scratches, there's no bruising, there's nothing on her neck. There was possibly something like a little something on her arm, if I remember right, but that was it.
She's a big tattletale. I mean, liar.
Hmm?
She's a big liar, liar.
Yeah, and I think the police kind of caught on to that.
Yeah, I think they know what happened.
The defendant's physical body was documented on the date of incident, and there were no injuries to her person to corroborate this account. At no time did the defendant claim the victim was armed with any type of weapon. In describing the stabbing incident, the defendant claimed she threw the knife at the victim from a distance in excess of 10 feet. So 10 feet, right? But yet he, you know,
Yeah,
attacked
that's
her.
that's not
Got some long arms.
yeah, and a good aim.
Hmm. Based on the location and depth of the stab wound, the medical examiner opined that throwing the knife from that distance would not have caused that fatal stab wound. In trying to explain her actions that day to the police, the defendant stated, I do not think that I don't know. I really don't know if this was justified at all. And you see, by the way, in her police interrogation video, she, what's the wording? She tries to tell the officers that she needs time to think, um, because this incident had just happened hours prior. She doesn't know entirely what happened, and she needs to get our story straight.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much
Yes.
the gist of it. If he
And
was really attacking her, you would remember that.
yeah, yeah. And then there would be something on her body. But I was gonna say she was
Hmm.
probably coming down from rugs during that whole interview. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think she actually admitted that, or it was either in that one or there was another one. I don't know if it was that one or the prior no, it was a prior domestic that she was arrested for,
Uh-huh.
and they held her for 12 hours. And she had said she was afraid of pretty much going into
Withdrawals. Mm-hmm.
detoxing.
Yeah.
Um, so part three, the crime scene. The condominium is a three-bedroom, three-bathroom unit with a private foyer. And by the way, they were there for 4 months, and that place was trashed.
Yeah.
I mean,
You'd have think she'd have had a housekeeper.
You would have thought. She paid $10,000 a month in rent for this place,
I can't even
and it
imagine.
looked like she never once did laundry.
Yeah, I don't think cleaning was in her things to do on list.
No. So while each bedroom has a bathroom, so 3 bedroom, 3 bathroom, must be really nice.
Right?
According to the floor plan, the master bedroom is the largest bedroom that has access to a terrace shared with the living room and faces east overlooking Biscayne Bay. The other 2 bedrooms face south, with one other bedroom having its own terrace that faces west. Pertinent here is the master bedroom and the bedroom with a westwardly facing terrace, here referred to as guest bedroom. The physical crime scene showed droplets of blood by the kitchen island dripping to the master bedroom bathroom and back into the living room. It was awful. I'm not going to show those pictures again.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to go look at them, you can find them for yourself.
Yeah, once is enough for me.
Mhm. Like, it made me furious,
Yeah.
furious.
Hmm.
She dragged him.
She's disgusting.
Yeah.
And the way she
Even though she
yells
was
like an
little,
animal.
she was high and yeah.
Gross.
So to continue, at the entrance of the guest bedroom, there was a puddle of coagulated blood and blood transfer on the wall, evidencing that the victim collapsed in this room before attempting to return towards the front door. Upon upon police arrival, the victim was in the defendant's arm at the intersection of the 2 guest bedrooms and another puddle of coagulated blood. The amount of blood throughout the condominium at different levels, including 2 large pools, evidences the victim was bleeding for an extended period before police arrived. 13 minutes before she called 911. The bloody knife, similar to the knives on the kitchen counter, was found in the living room on the living room floor next to the couch and bloody bedsheet, which, by the way, she admitted that she took the knife out of him. So, in conclusion, the evidence in the case, evaluated in its totality, reflect that the victim and the defendant were in a violent and toxic domestic relationship for over 2 years. The incidents of violence began escalating with the defendant throwing and or using weapons on various occasions. By the way, there was also another one documented where they were in a car at an intersection, and she just gets out of the car and completely loses her shit.
Was she driving or passenger?
I don't remember because the video was blurred,
Oh, okay.
right? So you
Oh,
couldn't
yes, I
tell.
remember seeing that now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So these incidents culminated on April 3rd of 2022 with the defendant acting without justification and causing the death of the victim by stabbing the victim in an imminently dangerous act, demonstrating a depraved mind without regard for human life. Accordingly, based on the totality of the circumstances, your affiant has probable cause to arrest the defendant, Courtney Taylor Clenney, for 1 count of murder in the second degree of Christian Obumseli with a weapon, to wit, a knife, a life felony in violation of Florida statute. Sworn and subscribed before me this the 4th day of August 2022. Circuit Court Judge, 11th Judicial Circuit of Florida. So there you go. So that was the probable cause.
Is it Miami, right? Or am I off?
Miami.
Miami. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, she went
Alrighty.
from Florida. She was arrested, or excuse me, she was arrested in Hawaii, extradited to Florida. And so let me see what
I
I've got
wonder,
next here.
do
Hang
you
on
think
just a second.
you think this will go to trial?
I think so. So
Yeah.
far, I think so. And I guess we'll find out as we
Yeah.
go along. The trial is supposed to start like December 2nd or December 3rd of this year.
Yeah. It's almost here. I can't believe we're in September. I mean
Yeah,
October,
I
right?
know.
It's
I
October what?
know.
I don't know what day it
It's
is, but
October 2nd.
oh really?
Hmm. Okay, so here I have, I guess I actually have 4 videos. So this one is the bond hearing. Let me get this shared. So she is, I believe, at this point already back in Florida, I think.
My oldest son's birthday is the 13th.
Hmm?
My oldest son's birthday is the 13th. It's like
The
once we hit
son?
yeah, my oldest one. Once we hit this time of the year, it's like birthdays, Christmas, and all holidays and birthdays again. From here,
Oh,
January,
is it
it's crazy.
your oldest son's birthday?
Yeah, in October.
That's on. Yeah, so OnlyFans model Courtney Clenney bond hearing.
Weeks for OnlyFans model Courtney Clenney to find out if a Florida judge will allow her released on bond ahead of her trial. Clenney is charged with second-degree murder for the stabbing death of her boyfriend, Christian Obumseli. A Miami-Dade County Superior Court judge heard 2 days of arguments in an Arthur hearing for Clenney. The judge plans to announce her decision on December 8th. Clenney's trial date is tentatively set for December 19th. That is likely going to be pushed until next year. The hearing comes as prosecutors release new photos.
She looks so different without all of her makeup.
I was wanting to say that, but she looks so different. It's amazing what makeup does to people. Like, I
Yeah,
can't make
and
myself
filters,
look like that though.
and filters, and hair extensions gone, right?
Yeah, I just can't imagine.
I think she must pick at her skin too from her drug of choice, I'm guessing.
Mm.
She's still pretty. I'll give her that. I think
Yeah,
she was still pretty.
yeah, she's just average to me, like just an average person, but she looks so different. But yeah, she's pretty, but like she's not drop
Like
dead
not drop dead
gorgeous.
gorgeous, right?
Yeah,
But
right.
Tentatively set for December 19th. That is likely going to be pushed until next year. The hearing comes as prosecutors release new photos of the moments after Obumseli's stabbing back in April. And the photos include a bloody picture of the alleged murder weapon. We're going to talk about all of this and the odds of her getting out. But first, here's Court TV's Vinnie Politan with a look at the case against Courtney Clenney.
A social media sensation, now a suspected killer. 26-year-old Courtney Taylor Clenney is charged with second-degree murder in the death of her 27-year-old boyfriend, Christian Obumseli.
The chief medical examiner of Miami-Dade County determined that Christian's cause of death was a stab to the chest. Christian was stabbed as the knife punctured the subclavian artery in his right chest.
really?
It all happened following a fight at the couple's luxury apartment.
I have full signal. I don't know.
in Miami's upscale Edgewater neighborhood. And prosecutors say fights were common in this volatile relationship.
Evidence gathered during the investigation of Christian's death showed that since November of 2020, he and the defendant, Clenney, had been involved in an extremely tempestuous and combative relationship.
The prosecutor's office would later release text messages where Obumseli confronts Clenney for slashing him with a knife more than once. They also released secret audio recordings taken by the victim.
Don't touch me! What is going on? What are you gonna get this mad at me when I'm apologizing to you? No, Christian. Are you thinking I'm doing it on purpose? Drop your head. Okay, I'm not doing it on purpose. You took the alright. You know well, the right thing to do is to tell me. Yes, and I am so sorry. So shut up and let me slide.
Officials say their apartment building management received so many complaints about their loud fights, they came close to being evicted. Building cameras captured this fight in February, just weeks before Obumseli was killed. Clenney's attorney notes that the elevator video does not depict the events leading up to the altercation, and in a statement said Obumseli was the abuser, the worst kind of abuser. He would manipulate and abuse Courtney in private when he thought nobody was around. Her attorney claims she was acting in self-defense after Obumseli attacked her. In his statement to Court TV, Frank Prieto states, "It is an absolute injustice to charge a victim of domestic violence and human trafficking with a crime." He went on to say, "We will vigorously defend Courtney and clear her of this unfounded and baseless charge." This body cam footage was taken the day before the stabbing.
Right now, like, I have not always been the victim, but like right now, I'm a freaking victim in this situation. I'm scared to go down the right.
All right, so what do you want from me?
I want to be like, I want him to be like exonerated. I guess if I get anything wrong. And I want him to please come here. I want a restraining order against Christian Obumseli.
The OnlyFans star first rose to fame as a bodybuilder.
My name is Courtney Taylor, and I'm about 8 days out from my first show, the NPC West Coast Classic. And today we're going to hit some back and vice, so let's get started.
She soon became a social media celebrity with some 2 million followers on Instagram, where she frequently posted pictures of the man she's now accused of murdering.
This homicide has gained some notoriety since the defendant, Clenney, is an internet social media personality and influencer under the name of Courtney Taylor.
Now Clenney is finding that her fame has a downside.
Yeah, you should go. Because you just killed your boyfriend. Yeah, you did.
Now, on day one of the bail hearing, a City of Miami police detective who responded to the scene of Christian Obumseli's stabbing testified on what he recalled the defendant, Courtney Clenney, told him.
She told me that she was at the apartment. The victim had went down to go to Subways. When he went to Subways, they began to message each other, and through text messages, they got into an argument over sharing each other's location. He then decides to come back to the apartment. Shortly after he comes back to the apartment, another argument ensues. At that point, the defendant says that.
Hey, Triple L,
Yes.
can you just type something in the chat so I can see your username there?
Yeah.
I'm trying to add you as a managing mod, but I think I need to, let me see if it'll let me. Do anything. Really? Nope. I'm gonna keep looking.
The victim grabbed her by the neck, slammed her against the wall. She was able to break free. And then she was gonna call her mother, and he didn't want that to happen. So he grabbed her and put her onto the ground. She wasn't able to explain how exactly that happened. After that, she was able to break free once again, at which point she goes to the kitchen. She grabs on the knife, and then she states that the victim ran towards her, and that's when she flung the knife or threw it, and it hit him in the shoulder.
Now, the medical examiner testified on Thursday and testified to the findings of his post-mortem investigation and if he could confirm if the knife was thrown or not by Clenney.
Based on the information that you had in your observations, the position of the wound, the angle of the wound, the depth of the wound, does that support that the victim and the defendant were face to face when this happened?
As a hypothetical?
As a hypothetical.
Yes.
And as another hypothetical, based on the same position, observations, the angle, the depth, does it support that the victim was stabbed?
Yes.
Based on the same observations, does it support that at least 8 to 12 pounds of force would have been used in order to create that damage?
In general, yes.
And that damage being breaking through the skin, plunging the knife 3 inches into the victim's chest, and cutting through muscle, eventually the subclavian artery?
Yes.
Now, based on the information you received that the defendant was alleged to have thrown this knife, do your observations support that?
I'm not an expert in knife throwing. If the person who supposedly did this is an expert knife thrower and the knife is a type of knife that you can throw, I guess that could have happened.
Did you receive any information that the defendant was a knife thrower?
No.
So based on that fact that you did not receive that information, would it support that?
No.
All right. The odds of her throwing that knife pretty low, unless she was an expert knife thrower, according to the expert witness. Let's bring back in Daryl Stallworth and Ted Golden. Ted, the fact that Obumseli was recording his girlfriend, the audio recordings are horrific. And who does that? Is that a person that's an abuser that gets someone in a certain way and records it so that he can use it later? Or is that classic abusee wanting to document what happens to him?
Sounds like he's covering himself. He's trying to make sure that whatever happens is documented and it shows a clear and concise representation of what was occurring while this incident, while he was losing his life, obviously.
Daryl, these cases are difficult to prove because it is, unfortunately, Obumseli is dead. He can't come in and articulate the complexities of the relationship. However, you do have those audio recordings. You got the video of them in the elevator, and you have neighbors saying they're constantly fighting. What's your overall take on this case? And do you believe that Courtney Clenney, as her defense attorney has said publicly, is a victim?
The bail hearing is giving us a little preview of what the trial may look like. I'm always fascinated with the pathologists because they're not going to tell you what happened. It's not like the movies where you walk up and say the person was stabbed 3 feet from right here. They give you hypotheticals, and I think that pathologist did a great job. It looks like it's going to be a problem for the defense because of this history, because of these recordings, because of the strength and the power needed to stab someone. I can see that it's going to be a hard, troubling problem. The idea that it's provoked and it's sudden impulse and all those things that knock a first-degree murder down to a second degree, maybe a manslaughter, that's probably going to be her best chance in defending this case.
Ted, it's one of those cases where the utterances made by, in this case, the defendant in those moments after when officers first arrived, is that not so important? Because now she's going to be confronted with this story that she threw the knife, which who knows why she blurted that out. It's a horrible story, a horrible defense for many reasons. Because it sounds like it is not backed up by the physical evidence. But from your perspective in law enforcement, those moments are crucial, are they not? The first bite at the apple with a potential defendant.
Yeah, when she made those statements, she put herself in a catch-22 because once you make those statements, you can't take them back.
But
she might be able to say, well, I had some,
what she did.
A slight slip in my mind that didn't happen
I would
Oh my
think.
God, yeah.
in that way, but realistically, when you make those kind of statements, it's that close to an incident, it becomes more truthful than not.
Yeah,
And of course,
well,
it's kind of like testimony. You can't take it away. Once you say it, it's
like
out
the
there.
drugs
And
people.
it's very difficult to change it or alter it in a way that would be believable.
All right, we'll get break in here up next.
I'm
More
gonna be right.
from Courtney
I'm gonna
Clenney's
be right
Arthur
back.
hearing. That's her bond hearing
Okay.
as her father takes the witness stand and backs, of course, his daughter and the self-defense claims. We'll listen to that next. Father of OnlyFans model Courtney Clenney took the stand yesterday and backed up his daughter's claims that she acted in self-defense. Kim Clenney testified during day 2 of his daughter's bail hearing. He stated that the relationship between his daughter and Christian Obumseli was, quote, very toxic from the beginning. He also
But he
doubled
wasn't
down
there.
on his daughter's self-defense claim, saying it was due to prolonged mistreatment by the victim in this case. Clenney is charged with second-degree murder for allegedly stabbing Obumseli to death back in April. Here's a look at Dad on the stand trying to help his daughter.
The July 27th of 2021 incident in Vegas. You heard about that yesterday.
Not yesterday, the day before.
The day before. And then the text messages from October 9th through the 11th discussing your daughter stabbing the victim in the leg and then hitting him.
I don't think I know that to be true.
Well, whether you know it to be true, you were in the court and heard her.
Not ignorant, yes.
And then also in January 30th.
How many times does she have to do that to him
The state's
for
allegations that your daughter caused this
someone
injury to the
to
victim?
realize what was going on?
I did hear that.
And then the February 21st incident in the elevator.
Well, it's obvious that she's under duress, and we don't know what happened before or after.
And the question to you is, you heard about it yesterday.
I heard about it the day before yesterday.
The day before yesterday. And then in regards to March, the multiple conversations between your daughter and the defendant, where she calls him a number of different names. You heard about that yesterday.
I did hear about that, but I don't know in what context.
Certainly, I'm not asking you that. So, and then obviously the incident that took place, the date of the incident, when the defendant killed the victim. You heard about that 2 days ago.
Well, when the defendant acted in self-defense, I heard about that, yes.
Your daughter's released. Would she come back to live with you?
That's an option, yes.
And do you find her to be a danger to you?
Absolutely not.
I'm back.
Do you find her to be a danger to your daughter, your other daughter,
No.
or your wife?
I was going to try to figure out this
And are there any
vanity mod
situations that
thing,
you've
but
had between, or that you've seen, that you've observed
got
or
a
been
sister.
privy to
I didn't know that.
between Miss Clenney and your wife and your other daughter?
it's cutting out for you.
I'm sorry.
Is it cutting out?
I think,
No.
well, no, because I think there may have been an incident I wasn't there. So
Did you eventually learn of what happened?
I think the sheriff's office may have been called, but she wasn't a danger to those two people.
Do you know why nothing was done further?
Judge, I'm going to object.
All right, it's Dad trying to answer some questions from the state. After the hearing, Courtney Clenney's defense team spoke to reporters about the proceedings and why they're optimistic about the defendant's case.
First of all, we're very pleased with the evidence that came out during this hearing. From the onset of this case, the government has built it on mischaracterizations of the evidence, and I think that was clear today. All the things that the state omitted and misrepresented from inception in the search warrant, all that evidence came out. Specifically, what makes us extremely, there's no other word for happy about the outcome of the testimony was the medical examiner's report and testimony. Ms. Puglisi can speak to that.
Real quick, let me ask you this. Why do you think she deserves bond?
I think that all the evidence that's presented in court was very clear. She's not a danger to the community, nor is she a flight risk. So Sabrina mentioned the ME.
Well, as
I
far
would
as
think
the
she's
flight
a
risk, I mean, and
huge
why she
flight
should get
risk.
bumped, I think it's pretty disingenuous for the state to now claim that she is a flight risk and a danger to the community.
What did you say?
She's a huge flight risk. I know you weren't there, but I was just talking.
Oh no, I was here. I was just putting my hair down.
All that money she had like almost $1 million, and then it was ridiculous the money she had.
Oh, I mean, she had $10,000 a month in rent. So yeah, I'm sure she had millions.
I watched something that went over like what she made, and it was just ridiculous. I can't remember though what it was, how much. Crazy though.
Yeah. Really?
When they kept her out for 4.5 months. It is clear from the evidence that she's not a harm to anybody in the community. As far as the ME, I think the biggest point was his last point, which was he cannot say that she didn't throw the knife. I mean, that's the case. How can they say that she threw it and then say he did not?
Can you also talk about testimony from the father who said that he felt that his daughter was mistreated?
There's no question she was a victim of domestic violence. And like any parent out there, he loves his daughter and
Yeah.
he's very upset about the situation. And, you know, today
If it was
he
anything,
had
him
at least a little
fighting
bit of
for
an
his own
opportunity
life.
to speak and say how he feels.
He was the victim.
They're delusional. Delulu.
I'm very curious what her parents think now.
I bet you anything they're still with her 100%.
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, they're good. I bet you they're good parents. I'm just wondering if
If they know, like, realize that
if they
it's true.
really, yeah.
Oh
I mean,
no.
to me, any good parent would stand by their kid, right? And just encourage them to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And obviously she went into rehab afterwards, so
Yeah.
there was some care there for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just curious if their
What they think.
viewpoint has all been, kind of changed.
Right. Be interesting.
Yeah.
The phone records, I mean, I know that there's been a lot of back and forth with the state and yourselves. What exactly do you think was happening in those moments between the calls to mom and then the call to 911? Well, I think it's, and you guys go through. Sure. I think the evidence is absolutely clear, beyond a reasonable doubt, that this occurred while she was on the phone with her mother and immediately hung up and called 911. There's no and, ifs, or buts about it. She called immediately. She acted in self-defense, and we will vigorously defend her, and she will hopefully be out on bond while this is taking place.
All right, let's talk about it with criminal defense attorney Daryl Stallworth in Oakland, California, and retired DEA and special agent and former Memphis police officer Ted Golden. He's in Atlanta, Georgia. The Arthur hearing in Florida is basically a bail hearing for a serious charge, and it's two-pronged. Prosecution has to prove that there's enough evidence here for a conviction, and then also that there's the defense has to prove that there's no problem with flight risk or any other danger to society scenario. Ted, to you, what's the reality of now with bracelets and modern law enforcement of an actual flight risk? Is Courtney Clenney a flight risk if she was out on bail? Yes, she has money, but does she have really the tools to go somewhere else?
Well, the technology that's available nowadays makes it pretty clear that people aren't as able to flee as they were in the past. The technology now is pinpoint wherever she is, they'll know where she is. And of course, one of the requirements when you are out on bonds that you be in at a certain time, or that you just be at home and you can't go anywhere else. So those things are pretty clear. The flight risk issue is a lot of times dealing with people who aren't citizens of the United States, or folks who have a tendency to travel, or they may have a guilty feeling and want to flee. That's going to be kind of hard for them to show. And a danger to the community. She's not a drug dealer. She's not someone who goes around, threatening to kill anybody else. So they're on good ground with that. And they may possibly have some grounds to get.
I just looked up the trial date. It's December 1st,
Okay, good.
2025. And I want to look at something real quick. Because I think I might be traveling that day.
Oh yeah, when are you going out of town?
That's what I'm looking for here. Trying to find it. Um, so I leave in November.
So you'll be
Tuesday.
there. Oh no, you won't be there for Christmas.
No. You know what I should probably do is actually, since I'm here, print this out and get it done with, because I keep forgetting.
Bet you're getting excited about your trip.
I am. Actually, it might be December 2nd, but I think we are leaving like December 1st and going to Reno overnight. Then I get into Seattle December 2nd at 11:45. Wish it would give me more of a.
So you will be like leaving that day, right? On the day of the trial?
I'm trying to figure this out.
If so, we'll figure it out.
Okay, well, I'm going to continue playing here.
Get the release, but given that she killed this man with a knife, I don't know what her injuries were like. That's something that probably would weigh in the judge's decision.
Daryl, should she be let out on bond as she awaits trial? Because it's a huge difference in terms of her short-term life as this waits, because this probably likely won't go to trial for a long time.
Bond hearings are particularly interesting because the judge normally has to presume what the prosecutor has charged to be true. And although they're putting on somewhat of a defense, it is really the presumption that what's been charged is true, and she's been charged with murder. And it cuts right to the point of, if someone's charged with murder and you presume that they committed murder, then that's a danger. I agree with Ted that she's not much of a flight risk. You can put an ankle monitor on her and figure out where she is and what she's doing, and she's not going to be able to get away with leaving the country. But the real element for review is danger. And if you presume someone for a bail hearing to be responsible for murder, stabbing someone, I believe the danger may be the strongest element in which the judge makes a decision that she probably won't get the bond.
And the recorded conversations that Obumseli secretly recorded go to that. I mean, she's unhinged at times. Here's an example of her screaming at him, telling him he needs to go charge her cell phone. He, meanwhile, is recording this because she's off the rails.
Don't touch me! What is going on? Like, are you gonna get this mad at me when I'm apologizing to you? No, Christian. Like, you're thinking I'm doing it on purpose? Drop your high pitch. Okay, I'm not doing it on purpose. You trust all right. You know well, the right thing to do is to tell me. Yes, and I am so sorry. So shut up and let me slap you. I'm not gonna slap you. Give me my phone. You have your phone. I don't have it anymore. Find it and charge it.
That is one of the audio recordings.
A little bit of a boss bitch there.
Ted, she seemed a bit unstable, and a reference was made to a police or sheriff's department call to the house when she was living with mom and sister and dad. Is there an argument that she is a danger, maybe not to just society in general, but to her loved ones?
So they were called while she was at home?
Demonstrated a pattern of behavior. Clearly, they had a very volatile relationship.
What's that?
The cops were called while she was living at home also? That's what they just said?
I think the cops were called a lot.
Then this should
From
not
the
be
sounds
that
of it.
big of a shocker, you know, to them.
Of a stalker?
It shouldn't be that big of a shocker that, you know, with her behavior.
No. And but yeah, it sounds like there were from what I read in the PCA, that there were quite a few more calls than we know about.
Okay. I think I was getting on when you were going over that part of the thing. Crazy.
Can you imagine if you think statistically, like those are just calls, like how much actually really happened?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's insane. I wonder why he didn't leave. Like, I wonder what the reason was, just out of curiosity.
don't know. Maybe we'll find out.
Yeah.
It was very well documented, not just in the elevator incident, but with the recording that he was able to make himself. Those kind of things tend to let the judge know that she has a volatile personality and that she is one of those folks that's very aggressive. And of course, with him being killed because of her aggressive nature, I think that there's a strong belief that he's probably going to keep behind bars because her attitudes and her way of acting and even the presentation of the audio lets you know that.
My God,
she's
look
an
at
aggressive
her.
person.
And he's just trying to defend himself.
Obumseli, this time
she's
recording
not
on his
acting
cell
like
phone
that where
video. You
she's
can
at
kind
right
of see
now.
them, but you're going to hear them. Take a listen.
Probably included.
Decide whether or not you're done gaslighting me. Decide whether or not you're done gaslighting me. Decide right now.
That's a
I asked you so many times that I don't know, and I apologize, but you hit me.
Daryl, can these, as we fast forward to an actual trial, can the defense use all of these interactions, these recordings between them somehow to their advantage if they establish a narrative of abuse coming from Obumseli's side too, saying that they were both guilty and it takes two to tango?
The defense would have to be very careful because on the face of this audio recording, it looks like he is the victim and she's been abusing him and he wants to make sure there's a record of it. But if they're going to try to flip it and make it seem like he's doing this just to cover his abuse in order to argue later that he was only...
In all the videos that we've seen, you never see ones where he is the aggressor. In
Not even
the
close.
prior domestic violence incidents, he was never the aggressor. It was determined.
Ugh, she makes me
So
mad
all
when I
the
see those videos. Ugh.
yeah, no. So all the digital evidence, the video evidence that we've seen so far, he's not the aggressor.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
doing this to make sure that he was going to be able to counter or defend himself against what she was doing. That's going to be a stretch. They're going to have to find something, or they're going to have to present something to make him a very methodical sociopath, that he's a violent person, he's an abuser, but he's going to secretly record his actions with his alleged victim in order to protect himself whenever she does something to him. I think that's a lot for a defense to be able to get a jury to digest.
Yeah, Ted, that's like second level saying, okay, he's the mastermind abuser, and but every now and then he pushes her buttons to the point where she freaks out, and then he records it so that he can save. It's ridiculous, isn't it, on its face?
Well, dead men can't speak, so whatever recording he's made is his testimony. The intent, obviously, for the defense is to demonize him, and the advantage they have right now is with all this testimony about her bond hearing, they're getting a very good view of the evidence the state has, and they can come up with a plausible explanation of what happened. So it's a disadvantage for the state, but a great advantage for defense attorneys to be able to get all this information up front.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, this Arthur hearing was a 2-day hearing, took place in Miami. The judge has reserved judgment. She will rule one way or another if Courtney Clenney will be out on bond on December 8th, likely a written decision, and that will be a game changer for her. Otherwise, she'll be incarcerated through the holidays and the months and months that lead up to trial. The charges against her serious enough to absolutely keep her incarcerated during that period of time. We'll wait and see what happens.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So, looking
I
at
just don't
my
think
schedule,
that self-defense is going to work. Sorry, go ahead.
that's okay. So I'm looking at my schedule.
Uh-huh.
God, I hope I can stream that first day. Because I'm guessing, so I don't leave Reno until December 3rd
Okay.
at 7:45, but we'll be over there. If we do like what we did, my sister and I did the last time, we spent the day, like left early in the morning and drove, it was like 8 or 10 hours to Reno. I can't remember exactly, it was a fun trip. I'm really actually looking forward to that again.
Yeah. So
My
you
sister's
like
so fun to
riding in the
my
car?
sister's just fun to travel with. She's
Where does she live at?
lives with my parents by Vegas.
Can you hear
But
me?
I can hear you.
Oh,
She
where
lives
do?
she lives with my parents by Vegas.
Oh, okay. In Vegas.
But we will likely travel on the 2nd. So the 1st, I'm hoping I can.
I guess I
do
got
the 1st.
confused because I thought you were going to visit them. No?
I am.
Okay.
I am. So I'll be down visiting my family, my mom, dad, and my sister there by Vegas. But because I'm taking Amtrak,
Uh-huh.
Amtrak doesn't go into Vegas. They go into Reno. With their
How far is that from Reno to Vegas? a ways.
It's a long ways. Like
Yeah.
it was like 8 or 10 hours.
Oh, okay. That's the long trip.
It was,
Gosh.
well,
Well, that's so cool. But anyway, on the day of the trial, what will you be doing?
so the day of the trial being the first, I mean, that'll just be a packing day. Hopefully, maybe I can
Oh,
get stuff
okay.
done the day prior and stream the trial as much as I can.
Yeah.
While also, spending time with my family and that'll be the last day I'll be seeing my parents.
Okay, so
So
you will be already in Vegas by that time.
I'll be I'll be in Vegas by November 11th.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then
Well,
we'll
yeah,
leave.
spending time with your family is way more important.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, we'll
for
figure it out
sure.
and we can catch up. It's not the end of the world if we don't stream it that day.
But there'll definitely be the second that I won't be December 2nd. I won't be able to
Okay.
stream. Um, the even the cell coverage, because we go a roundabout way. We don't go just straight, right? Like she every one of the reason that it takes so long is Jen likes to and like me likes to go see the sights kind of. So,
Yeah.
we're like going into the
The little towns and
little towns and stuff. So there's like really no
yeah.
coverage.
Well, you can't be doing that when you're trying to
And
travel.
I won't be. So maybe the third, depending on, well, the Amtrak doesn't have Wi-Fi, so I have to go off of my data.
I mean, I can probably stream it on TikTok, but that's it.
Hmm.
But that is not the end of the world if we can't. We'll just catch up.
I would probably just use that as a hotspot and use data.
Yeah, but your
And then,
trip's
because
more important.
the first, because going from Reno and then into Sacramento is only a couple hours, 3-4 hours. And then I'll be in Sacramento for, God, how long am I going to be in Sacramento?
So you're going, oh, sounds so much fun.
What does it say? So return, departs, arrives in Sacramento at 11:30. I'll be in Sacramento for 12 hours,
Oh gosh, okay.
which
Well,
was like that's what it was the last time too. So I'm
yeah.
not surprised. So,
I'm
I
so
mean,
jealous.
I can definitely at that time on the 3rd, um, just use my hotspot and do a delayed stream.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll play
That'll
it
give
by
me
ear.
something to do.
Yeah, yeah,
All
that
right.
works.
All
We'll
right.
get it
So
figured out.
yeah.
The good thing is that we're not strict over here.
Yeah.
We would have already been fired.
Oh, I know, right? Hence why I can't work because of the fibromyalgia and God knows what else. Okay, so the next one I have, because so in the last one we saw a little bit of her lawyers, right?
Yeah.
So this one is another one about her lawyers.
I'm going to be right back, okay?
Okay.
But I will be listening.
Okay. All right, so this one is Courtney Clenney's lawyers reveal evidence supports self-defense claim and boyfriend stabbing. Um, One moment.
Case and the facts that come out of trial will support that. This is a self-defense case, and the facts that come out of trial will support that.
The attorneys for Courtney Clenney, the OnlyFans model accused of the second-degree murder of her boyfriend, are backing her claim of self-defense as she faces criminal charges and a civil suit from the family of Toby Obumseli. I'm Anjanette Levy, and thanks for joining us here on Law and Crime. Courtney Clenney faces a second-degree murder charge for the stabbing death of her boyfriend, Christian Toby Obumseli, at their condo in Miami-Dade County last year. Clenney claims self-defense, but the prosecution says Obumseli was a victim of domestic violence. Prosecutors say Clenney stabbed Obumseli during an argument in their condo in April of last year. The arrest warrant states Obumseli died from
10 feet away. So she is stating he attacked her, threw her against the wall, almost choked her, and then she threw the knife from a distance of 10 feet away. So make that make sense.
A stab wound to an artery in his chest and that he was stabbed from a downward angle. Clenney claims that she acted in self-defense when she stabbed Obumseli, tossing the knife.
And that, by the way, she is still wearing the pants that she wore when she was cradling him in their apartment before EMS came and took her.
From across the room, while the prosecution says she told inconsistent stories about what happened that day. The only thing upon which both sides can agree, Obumseli and Clenney were involved in a tumultuous and toxic relationship. A surveillance camera recorded the couple months before Obumseli died in an elevator in their condo complex. Clenney can be seen hitting him. Clenney is in jail awaiting trial, and Obumseli's family has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against her, their homeowners association, and the security company at the condo complex.
The forensic evidence clear that Christian was not an aggressor in any way, and that there's one aggressor in this case.
We've lost so much beyond just Toby. My aunt has never been the same. She is marked with a sadness and anger and grief that will likely never go away.
I'm going to give you this designer bag if you can prove to me that you know your finances.
Well, let's do it.
How many subscriptions do you have?
Joining me to discuss this case are the attorneys for Courtney Clenney. They are Frank Prieto and Sabrina Puglisi. Sabrina, I'll start with you. Thanks for coming on. How is Courtney Clenney doing?
First of all, thank you so much, Anjanette, for having us on here today. I've had the opportunity to really spend a lot of time with Courtney. I visit her almost every week. I don't know if you know, but ever since COVID, they kind of changed regulations, and people in custody are really not allowed to get any visits from family or friends, just their lawyers. So I'm really the only one with Frank where we've been able to go and see her. And as you can imagine, anyone who's in jail, it's very difficult. It's difficult to be away from your family, from everything you know, but especially for Courtney because, she acted in self-defense in this case, and she knows that she was acting to save her life. And for her to be sitting here patiently awaiting a trial, it's just difficult, as you can imagine.
From the beginning, Clenney's defense has claimed that she acted in self-defense, despite that now infamous elevator video that shows Clenney hitting Obumseli months before he was killed. That video was released when the charges were announced.
The state attorney has shown that infamous elevator video as evidence of what happened that night. What happened in that elevator has nothing to do with what occurred that evening when Courtney had to defend herself to save her own life. We've always felt it's self-defense from
that elevator video shows a pattern of behavior among many other things. And by the way, this is not the elevator video incident. This is from July 27th of 2021 in regards to that prior domestic violence incident where she was ultimately deemed the aggressor and arrested.
The beginning. And I think that the fact that the detective in this matter did not arrest her for 4 months while they investigated the case, it's very telling that this was a self-defense case. It is a self-defense case, and that's what's going to come out at trial.
You know, if I could just add to that, Anjanette, just piggyback to that, because, you know, one of the things with that elevator video is trying to say that she's the aggressor, but we have various instances, and there'll be more, and it'll all come out in the trial. But I can just tell you of 3 instances alone, which absolutely show that she was abused, both emotionally and physically.
What?
The first is in Las Vegas in 2021, where she actually called security, and
I am, but I
the
turned it off.
interview of the security officer by
Are you-
police, and you can see it in the body camera
Have
of
you-
the police officer. He says he overheard her saying, "Get your hands off me." And when they got up to the room,
Leaving?
her hair, clumps of her hair were on the ground.
I'm okay.
We
Oh,
have
okay.
another security officer who
All right.
puts in a report that when they went up to Miss
Sorry.
Clenney's apartment,
Trent came in
that
looking for the
they
cat.
could overhear
Oh, you're okay.
her crying and screaming and saying, "You hit me
Had
in
2
the
of 'em.
leg." And then we know just even 2 days before this happened, police were called and she was begging them. We see it in the body cam. You can see her face, hear her voice and the fear where she's asking for help. She's telling them that she's afraid of him. So there absolutely are instances, and this is all going to come out in the trial.
As I mentioned, Toby Obumseli's family is suing Courtney Clenney for wrongful death. They're also suing the condo complex,
Good.
Owners
know.
Association, the management company, and the company that provided security, claiming negligence.
I can't speak to the other defendants in this
Oh,
case,
that's
the
interesting.
condo association, the security company, the landlords. But what I can tell you is this: that civil suit is seeking money. Okay, I truly believe the family is trying to make a money grab here, and it's the filing of this lawsuit was necessitated because of a change in law that was occurring. The
A
family
money grab? Are you kidding me?
to file a lawsuit probably prematurely.
What's that?
A money grab? Are you kidding me? That's what he's like, this is nothing but a money grab.
I mean, that seems to be kind of a go-to when people sue
Right.
celebrities, and their lawyers will claim that it's all for money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and usually I will agree with that, but not on this one.
Yeah. I won't either,
Yep.
because I just don't see her giving any money away.
Nope. I mean, I would just sue her just for the fact that to get a guilty verdict. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. Does she have a tattoo right there?
Looks like it.
It's like, I can't tell. Did she get like her inmate number tattooed back there?
I can't tell what it is.
But this is a change in law that Governor DeSantis was signing that would greatly limit a plaintiff's ability to recover, or actually eliminate the plaintiff's ability to recover in a case such as this. Also, I would add, that at one of the press conferences, the plaintiff's attorney make allegations that 6 calls for service were at that apartment, and they label the same aggressor every time. But what we do know, as Ms. Puglisi mentioned, is that on several occasions, Mr. Obumseli was the aggressor. In fact, it's on the body worn cam that says he was storming at her, or he was coming at her, and that's exactly consistent with the statement she made to police. So the civil case is going to probably have to wait till the criminal case is over. But again, it was necessitated by the change in law.
I asked Courtney Clenney's attorneys whether or not they believe it's possible that Clenney and Obumseli were abusive to one another.
And Jeanette, we've said from the beginning that this was a toxic relationship. There is no doubt that their relationship got physical on both sides. There was substance abuse involved on both sides. For example, the Las Vegas video of actually when Courtney got arrested because she was covered
I honestly think I would agree with that there would be substance
Oh,
on
yeah.
both sides.
Yeah, I'm sure. And
And
I'm
then
sure, he probably popped her maybe once. I mean, I don't know how someone wouldn't, but I don't know.
maybe, but
If he did, I don't know, but I don't know.
if anything, it would have been to get her off of him.
Yeah, just to get away from her, get her to stop.
Yeah. But I don't see him just from what the body language like I've seen with him, like I don't think he did anything like illegal. Like I think it was more probably, like to go to the bar kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's from what
Yeah, I don't
I might
see.
gather, but what do I know
Yeah, we don't know, but
in regards to substances? But yeah.
yeah, and the abuse. But
For Obumseli, he can barely speak. He's so wasted, and I think it's like 6, 7, or 8, 9 in the morning. So unfortunately, there was a cycle of violence. They both acted inappropriately at times, but we can tell you that the evidence will show that Courtney was abused, that Obumseli charged her that night, and she had to defend herself. And for some of the audience members that are not familiar with the specifics of the case,
Why didn't the
this
mom
is a
say that?
one stab, one knife wound penetration case. This is not a multiple stabbing. This is not somebody that had something against this person. This is a one stab case, and she called 911, and you could hear the terror in her voice, begging for help. So again,
Also his
this
voice
is a
too.
self-defense case, and the facts that come out
You
of
hear
trial.
him saying, "I'm
A status
dying."
conference in Courtney Clenney's case is set for July. At that time, a trial date could be set. For Law and Crime, I'm Anjanette Levy.
it just makes me mad when they start trying to blame him. I don't know. I get a little upset.
I mean, that's a oh my Lord, there goes a. Can you hear that?
What was it?
It's the helicopters. I live right next to like the hospital, and
Lots of
the
action.
helicopters fly right over.
Do your headphones light up? Or they just hit the light a certain way?
No, let me look. Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I just never get to see it.
I didn't notice the last time. I think because of the blur you have on there, they kind of blend in with the blur. But yeah, I can
I
tell
do
this
the
time.
blur just because Trent gets in and out, and
Oh, yeah.
he's camera shy, and I don't want him to accidentally
Right. Well,
be
I'm
on
up
camera.
against the
Otherwise, I don't
wall.
really care back there. I mean, I've got an organizer, I've got a dresser, and I've got some wall hanging. Oh,
Yeah, I do the
Norma
same
Jean's
thing.
Roadside Diner
I'm up against a wall, so
and a bed.
nobody behind me.
Okay, so then the next one I have is Vinnie Politan.
Okay.
The OnlyFans model murder Courtney Clenney's defense, but this is Vinnie Politan, the full thing. I have one more after that.
Okay.
That isn't as long. That does the top 3 key moments. So we'll do this one.
Oh, I never did find a body analyst or whatever you call it,
I
body
didn't either.
analysis on her anywhere.
I
Maybe
didn't
they'll-
either. I looked too.
Maybe
Didn't
they'll do
find
one
it.
when the trial starts. Somebody will do one.
Maybe once it gains more traction.
Yeah, I bet maybe somebody will do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
You'll do it?
Mhm. Let me do it.
Start, Vinny. Can you hear it?
Yeah, it sounds
Hey,
good.
Paul Dan, the subject of my investigation is the OnlyFans murder trial. This involves a good-looking young couple who seemed to have everything, but behind closed doors, they were more like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, with one big difference. One is
I will
dead,
agree with
and the
that.
other is charged with murder. Here's the story. 26
Did you follow the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp?
Yeah, I wasn't really wanting to watch it, but somehow I just got sucked in. Yeah, I did.
So did I. With Emily D. Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, she
I
drew
don't
me into
remember.
that one.
I think I was watching Grizzly at that time. I think that's where I watched it. I can't remember. It's been so long ago, but yeah.
I watched it on Emily D. Baker and became a huge fan of hers.
Yeah.
But yes, that
She's a
was a
good one
very
too.
toxic. Mhm.
Yes. I just my opinion's a little probably different than most people on that one.
On Amber Heard and
Yeah.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I think they were both involved in stuff.
So
It
do
wasn't
I. I
it
think
wasn't just her.
I think they were a Bonnie and Clyde where maybe
Mhm.
separate they wouldn't be so bad.
Right.
But put together they were explosive.
Yes, very.
And yeah, so
I don't know why,
I
but
kinda
I think that Amber Heard is just so pretty. I think
She's
she's just
pretty.
beautiful. Like one of the prettiest
She is.
women I've seen.
I don't know if I'd say that.
Well, in my head. I don't know why I think she's just so pretty.
She is pretty. All right. I'm gonna let this play. I do have to get up and stretch.
Okay, go ahead.
Courtney Clenney is a social media star. She has over 2 million followers and has built a very successful career. While she's very visible on Instagram, she also has an OnlyFans page. This is a place where her fans can pay her through the app for access to videos and images you will never see on Instagram. She was so successful, she was living in a plush apartment in Miami, where monthly rents were between $10,000 and $12,000 a month. She was living with her boyfriend, Christian Obumseli, until April 3rd of 2022, when Courtney used a knife to kill him. She is claiming self-defense, but prosecutors say she was the aggressor the day she killed Christian, just like she was the aggressor in this elevator 2 months before the killing. What was going on in this volatile relationship? Who was the victim and who was the abuser, and exactly how did that knife end up killing Christian? We'll take a closer look as we investigate the Courtney Clenney OnlyFans murder.
There is no doubt the more you learn about Courtney and Christian, the more you realize this was a very toxic situation. And they were living a life that you wouldn't wish on your children, that to be so young and to be involved in a situation like that. Now, prosecutors have charged Courtney Clenney with murder. She's claiming self-defense. Some of the information, some videos, text messages, surveillance videos, body cams, cell phone videos have become public. And we've seen them and we've been watching them since we've covered this story. And to be honest, when I look at these videos and read these text messages, it seems almost exclusively in all of these that Courtney is the aggressor, much like prosecutors are alleging that she's the abuser in the relationship. So I want to show you some of those videos right now so you have an understanding for what I'm talking about.
Like I was sober for 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, and now why am I not sober? Because of you. Like you're hindering my progress. You need to sit down. You need to let go of me.
The crazy thing about all of this is that yesterday, when you stabbed me in the leg and you saw how bad it was hurting me and I couldn't walk, I couldn't do and you were telling me I wish I could have taken your pain away. Did I make you feel like for stabbing me? No, I just sucked it up and hope tomorrow will be better.
Both my dogs better be in that.
Right there.
You are so lucky about my dog hitting me. No, because you let my dogs. I'm doing it for you. My dogs. My bad. Me. My dogs are my boy. My bad. I'm just making. No, not your back. Give me something. Give me something better than my back. I'm sorry.
I asked you so many times that I don't know, and I apologize. But you hit me. Shut up. Put the
This video makes me mad every time I see it.
Yes, and I am so sorry. Just shut up. Let me slap you. Give me my phone. You have your phone. I don't have your phone. Find it and
Charge it. Find it, charge it! I'm sorry. I don't care. Find it, charge it. Just don't.
On the couch, like she really was. Thing and on my face. Then I went back to bed. And I was like, why don't you do that?
Did anybody throw anything?
No.
So why would you think that there is damage to the room to be made?
Because I've done that before in our house. And
What have you done?
thrown it. Glass there.
When I go to the room and I see a broken glass on the floor, where did the glass come from?
I don't know. I literally couldn't even remember how the fight started.
Of course, she doesn't know.
Okay, well,
Was there?
yeah.
Maybe it is.
This was when they were in Vegas, right?
I think so. She has no clue.
So from the beginning,
rough.
the defense has been very clear that this is self-defense and that Courtney was a victim to Christian's violence in this relationship. And that brings me to our first question in this investigation, which is, where is the evidence of Christian abusing Courtney?
That's what I
Where
was
is this
fixing to
evidence?
say.
Where will it come from? Does it exist right now?
I was
Oops, I
wondering.
was muted.
Oh, go ahead.
What? No, what'd you say?
I was thinking the same thing. Where is the evidence? I want to see it. If there
I
is
know.
any.
Me too.
To help me get to the bottom of all this, joining us, Courtney Clenney's defense team joining us tonight. Attorneys Frank Prieto and Sabrina Puglisi are with us. Frank, Sabrina, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Want to get both sides of every story we cover. So Frank, I'll begin with you. So where is that evidence? What is the evidence of Christian being the one who's abusing Courtney?
Sure. Vinny, thanks for having us. We appreciate it. Happy holidays to you and your viewers around this holiday season. Listen, and I'm glad you played the introduction of the elevator video because that's deceptive. We have video footage, which the media doesn't like to play. When she gets onto that elevator, going down from her apartment, her foot is bleeding. She leaves a blood prints in the elevator because she's going to go downstairs to complain about what just happened in the apartment. And you see that on other video footage where Christian comes in and wipes the elevator before she gets back in when he's in the lobby trying to prevent him from going up to the floor. Nobody sees that, right? There's a lot of things here that the public doesn't see because, quite honestly, we're not pushing that narrative out there, unlike the prosecution did when they first made the arrest.
Sabrina, is this a case where there are more videos?
You know, in the interrogation video, she talked a number of times about there being something on her foot. There was blood on her foot.
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, the girl knows how to kick. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm sure it was probably, I don't know. I'll be quiet.
What?
I was going to say something tacky, but go ahead.
Okay.
Beyond what we have seen now, like I understand what Frank's explaining about additional parts of this video, and we have to dig up that ourselves. But are there other videos, or is it the testimony and what Courtney can tell a jury about what was happening?
Yes, Vinny, there actually are other videos. One good example of that is Arthur Cupp. If you look at the body cam footage from officers on the day that Christian died, you'll see that a neighbor from across the street, doesn't know Courtney, doesn't know Christian, comes voluntarily to the police to tell him of an incident he saw the week before about how he watched Christian hitting Courtney in the head area. That's just one example. If you look at the Las Vegas video that you actually do play here, a clip of, you'll see at the very beginning of it, the officer testifies that security testifies she's the one who called police or security. She says that she was afraid. They go up, they find clumps of her hair on the floor in the hotel room. And the reason she gets arrested is because she's trying to protect him. She actually says in a clip, you know, I didn't tell you everything because I was trying to protect him. So I think even in the videos you show, there's clips that show self-defense.
I want to do this. I want to play what I found was probably the most interesting on this issue because it's just before all of this happens where she's in the lobby talking about a restraining order. Let's watch.
All right, so what do you want?
I want to be like, I'm gonna be like exonerated, I guess, if like anything wrong. And I want him, okay, the police are here. I want a restraining order against Christian Obumseli.
So Frank, that's, to me, this has always been the most powerful piece of evidence that at least we have our hands on that we've noticed in the build up to this trial, which will happen at some point, I guess. What's the story behind her wanting a restraining order?
Well, Vinny, you know what? This is look, the events of April 3rd, 2022 shouldn't have happened. Courtney wishes that day never came. Christian's passing is a tragedy. There's no doubt about that. But I'll tell you that this is a testament to domestic violence victims around the country, around the world, that you need to get help sooner. And, unfortunately, I think law enforcement missed their opportunity. You're aware that we've listed the world's most renowned specialist on battered wife syndrome, and she's our expert witness. Courtney, mentally, I think more mentally than physically, but this was a toxic relationship. Look, the state said it, but this happened, and people need to speak out and understand they can get away from the relationships before something like this would happen. But Courtney took
that video.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord. Holy crap. And you can hear her slapping him. You can hear.
Yeah. She's
We showed this
completely,
on the first live that we did. You can hear the slap.
she's completely out of control. Ugh.
And we watched it several times.
Mm-hmm.
He's just trying to kind of push her away, kind of almost, and
Yeah.
not engaging in the physical that she is doing over and over and over.
Wild.
actions that she had to that night to save her life.
Sabrina, how would you describe the nature of the relationship, the power in the relationship? Because Courtney is the one who's controlling the pocketbook, right? She's the one that's earning the money so they can live in this beautiful building down in one of the most exclusive parts of Miami. So how does that play into the nature of their relationship?
It's that classic domestic violence, right? The manipulation that the other person is able to do. You're so tied to that person, so much so that you start blaming yourself for things that that person does against you. Oh, you hit me, but you hit me because it was my fault, because I did something wrong or I said something wrong. It was a classic abuse situation. And, you know, unfortunately, this was so toxic. And you look and it looks like they had a beautiful life, right? Beautiful couple, beautiful place in Miami. But a picture is just that. It really hides what is underneath. And underneath, this was just a very sad and dangerous situation.
All right, Frank Prieto, Sabrina Puglisi are going to stay with us. When we come back, should Courtney Clenney receive bond?
The facts that I think the court's now more made aware of, the witness who saw the beating. Obviously, the state has compelling evidence as well, but I think this is a case where the court can craft a bond.
We want to understand the mindset behind your actions in this case. Tell me, why are you here?
She needed payback.
Payback with her life?
Really funny. I'm laughing. You see me, I laugh.
I don't want any of this. Are you not prepared today to take responsibility for any of your crimes?
Interview with a Killer. Marathon starting Thursday, 11:10 Central. Only on Court TV.
She was like a ballerina, and the husband was some kind of wealthy individual. But they had a child in common. They also, you could say, they had a tumultuous relationship. There was some custody issues. There was injunction hearings related prior to the shooting.
I think he's talking about the Black Swan
Yeah.
trial.
That was weird.
Did you watch that?
Yeah. Did you?
I did. I watched it actually with on Grizzlies.
Yeah, I probably did too. Yep. That was wild. What
I
do you
don't
think
feel
about that one?
I don't think that there's any comparison.
No. Not at all.
I do clearly, in my opinion, I do believe she did it.
Me too. And we both know
Yeah,
they're guilty till they're proved, right? How do you say it? Guilty to
right.
proved innocent till proven guilty.
If I remember right, he was like backed into like a laundry room, like on a corner
Yeah, something like he was.
when she murdered him.
And her act in court was awful. When she got on the stand, ugh. Are you talking about the swan right now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the black swan, because I think that's what this
yeah,
attorney is referencing,
yeah. He is.
it,
Yeah, I
using for
totally. But
case law.
when she got on the stand, her performance was terrible, awful.
Yeah, yeah. And her daughter, or
Poor
it was his
thing.
daughter, wasn't it? It's his daughter, the older one
Oh yeah, the older one was his. Yeah.
that took the stand.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of courage and strength
Mm-hmm.
that girl had was phenomenal.
Yeah,
Still
and
is.
then somebody tried to get her in trouble, remember when one of the days in court that she was posting stuff on TikTok, I think that she wasn't supposed to, and so they like put her on the stand and asked her all these questions. Do you remember that?
I don't, but that's normal.
But it was like, the fence was, ugh, it was kind of crappy what
They're
they
gonna
did to her.
defense is gonna do
Yeah.
everything
Mm-hmm.
they can,
Yeah.
as they should.
Mm-hmm.
But she unloaded 6 bullets into this man, was given a bond on house arrest. Her former police officer, Marcia Thompson, she shot, I think, 5 or 6 rounds into her husband of a long-term relationship. She did allege in this particular case a battered spouse syndrome defense, which is what Dr. Walker has evaluated Ms. Clenney and has found that she was suffering from battered spouse syndrome. In this particular case, the court granted her, after Arthur hearing, a $250,000 bond. These are just a couple of, and these are recent examples of courts in other jurisdictions granting a bond in what I would argue to the court is more of it's a lot different than throwing a knife, taking a loaded gun and unloading a clip or however many rounds they were.
As Courtney Clenney waits for a trial date, she's locked up. And obviously her attorney's trying to get her out on bond, making the argument and the comparison to a couple of the cases that you saw here on Court TV, where accused killers were out on bond down in Florida. They used guns. Courtney Clenney used a knife. Now, part of Courtney Clenney's story is that she threw the knife at Christian Obumseli. Didn't go up and stand, but threw the knife. She's made that statement. So during one of these bond hearings, I want to show you some of the evidence that the defense brought forward concerning the possibility of someone being able to throw a knife and do the damage that was done to Christian Obumseli.
She said 10 feet away.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to see there's no sound here. Do you know if there was a sound recorded or not?
We did not do a sound recording.
Can you describe to the court, I mean, obviously we can see what's going on, but from your observation as an expert, medical examiner, what, if any?
I also want to point out that I believe she was shorter than him,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh, way shorter, I think.
So the amount, because they said that the projectile,
Mm-hmm.
the knife came down at an angle.
Right.
So she would have had to have thrown it up.
There's just no way.
I don't know. I mean, she could have thrown it up, but
It would be
I
so
don't know.
hard. It would have to go like this and like that, right?
Go like what?
It would have to go up in the air and then come down and do that, right?
Yep. Yeah.
I don't see that happening, but you never know.
Does this demonstration show you?
Well, he threw six.
When you're afraid for your life, do you think about those things? No, you start hawking things, right?
Yep.
Knives.
Don't see it happen.
And he essentially had 3 of them stick, and the 4th one came in and hit the third one, knocking the third one out, but probably that would have been killing. And there was a clean miss, number 5. Number 6, the impact was just barely grazed the side of the carcass.
Okay, so if this is a case where, there's some domestic violence, maybe it's self-defense, maybe it isn't, maybe she threw the knife, maybe she didn't stab him, it brings us to our next question, which is about her status right now. And the question is, should Courtney Clenney receive bond? Still with us, Courtney Clenney's defense team, Frank Prieto, Sabrina Puglisi. So, Frank, that was an unusual moment. I will admit, I've never seen that in a courtroom, but the point being that this is something less than other cases where an accused killer has gotten out?
Well, Vinny, I know you're a former prosecutor. Look, of giving her a bond. Look, we disagree with the judge's ruling. We respect Judge Cruz. She has a very difficult job in very difficult cases. But the fact of the matter is, at best, okay, we disagree, but at best, this is a manslaughter case. Under Florida statutes, manslaughter is a bondable offense, and Courtney should have a bond. She's not a danger to the community. She's not a risk of flight, which, as you know, those are the components that the judge has to evaluate in order to grant a bond. In this particular situation, Courtney's not a danger to the public. She's just not. And she's not a flight risk. She's pretty much broke at this point. And she's appeared in court. Her parents are in court all the time. This is not a situation where the court should be concerned about that. But again, it's a difficult job that Judge Cruz has managing this type of case. And we respect her ruling, albeit that we disagree.
Sabrina, the other part of this is there's not even a trial date yet on this, is there?
Unfortunately, no, there is not. We keep having status conferences. We have various motions that we're dealing with, motion to disqualify the state attorney's office. And so it keeps just being prolonged. And especially with the false charges the state attorney's office filed against her parents and her for that laptop, it really delayed Courtney's case, I will say, probably about 1 year.
So, Frank, how would you describe how she is doing behind bars? How is she getting by? And how does all of this impact the preparation of your case?
Well, look, she's, Sabrina sees her more often than I do. We do video visits, but I'd like to touch on something Sabrina said. Look, she's been in there now a year longer than she probably should have. Based upon the prosecutor's misconduct in this case, as the judge ruled that they invaded the attorney-client privilege. They read texts and emails, right? Emails that laid out her defense strategy, okay? And the prosecutor read this and said, I'm just gonna read it, even though the document said privileged and confidential. And so clearly, Vinny, you know this. Look, once the prosecutor has invaded the defense camp, they have no business being on this case. And that's what the delay is. But Courtney's dealing with it. She's obviously, it's not pleasant for any defendant to be in custody for this long. But she understands that we're, working vigorously to defend her, and we're confident that she's going to be free once we get this trial.
And Sabrina, something that we noticed by watching the videos and even some of the conversations between Christian and Courtney is that they were doing drugs, right? They're young, they've got money, they're doing drugs. How is her sobriety? How is her state of mind these days?
She's doing so much better. Thank you for asking about that. Sometimes you just need that clarity, that time away. And she tried to get the help by putting herself into an inpatient right before she was arrested. She was, the police went there to get her out of her treatment facility. But since then, obviously, she's been clean, she's healthy, she's been exercising and trying to stay as positive as she can, praying and doing everything she can to stay healthy and positive and just waiting for her day in court.
And Frank, how do you handle that when you've got someone it really hasn't been a part of the criminal justice system? There's different types of criminal defendants. I was a prosecutor. Some of them have rap sheets like this. Others, it's, the first time. First time is a big one, right? It's murder. How do you prepare her for the trial, number one? And number two, a trial with an outcome that you never know exactly what it's going to be? Unfortunately, we only have about 15 seconds here, Frank. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you got to be, look, with a jury, you never know. But we're preparing as best as we can. It's difficult. We'd love to have her out so we can prepare more. Getting into jails, as you know, or your viewers know, it's never easy. There's lockdowns, delays. You can't bring this, you can't bring that. So we're doing the best we can, and she knows.
All right, we're out of time. I took up your time. Sorry. Frank Prieto, Sabrina Puglisi, thank you both so much. Coming up next, we'll take a look at what went wrong.
So, not for this live, but for the next one, I have a Nancy Grace video to show that apparently they bring in a pig carcass
That'll be good. She's
to
always interesting, huh?
court. Yeah. And given how I'm feeling, because I'm 2 days post the weight loss shot,
Uh-huh.
hopefully, and depending on how you're feeling, we can do another live
Yeah.
this week or the next couple of days.
Yep. Just
All
whenever
depending
you-
on how things are.
Yeah. Just hit me up and we'll see.
Yeah. Come on, Vinny. Go
I'm Vinny
look up
Politan. We
the
continue our
article.
investigation of the OnlyFans murder trial, which is such a tragedy. A young couple who were making their way through the world and had the opportunity for really bright futures until all the money, sex, and the drugs led to a fatal stabbing. Here's their story.
Courtney Clenney and her boyfriend Christian Obumseli were living a fast life. Money, fame, sex, and drugs. Courtney was making tons of money taking off her clothes and performing sexual activity on a subscription website called OnlyFans. Sometimes Christian would get in the act as well. They were living in the trendiest, most expensive section of Miami. But things were not going so well behind the scenes. Jealousy, arguments, and domestic violence fueled a toxic relationship that ended when Courtney put a knife into Christian's chest. She's claiming self-defense, but prosecutors say it is murder.
Now, they weren't always living that life in Miami. Back in 2016, Courtney Clenney appeared in a...
That, the DA that they just showed always reminds me of that prosecutor from OJ.
Marsha Clark, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The hair's a little different,
Yeah.
right? But
She does remind me too.
I think it's the facial structures.
Mm-hmm.
fitness video.
And I thought Marsha Clark was gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
Posted to YouTube by Muscle Insider. Take a look.
What's up, you guys? My name is Courtney Taylor, and I'm about 8 days out from my first show, the NPC West Coast Classic. And today we're going to hit some back and vice, so let's get started.
I have the beautiful Courtney Taylor getting ready for her first show, the NPC West Coast, in just a few days. We have about a week and a half left, so we're going to show you guys what we're doing.
Oh, so you found your new home?
Yes, I'm so excited. I've never been so excited about anything like in my life.
Okay, all that seems very normal, like very like sort of vanilla when it comes to social media and things you would see on Instagram and, you know, being a fitness model, right? I want you, though, to take a look at the picture of her then and a more recent picture, as you can see sort of the transformation in those 6 years. You know, 2016, healthy, working out, fitness, happy, smiling. 2022, I know that was the worst day ever, but like you just look at the face and the hair and the everything is different. To me, so symbolic of the life of Courtney Clenney, which brings us to our next question in our investigation. What went wrong? How do you go from that to that? How do you go from
Being a
a
narcissist.
fitness model? It's all about health and good being and well-being to where she ended up. Joining me to help us through all this, psychotherapist, CEO of Life Counseling Solutions, Dr. Janie Lacey, and also with us, host of the very, very popular podcast, Surviving the Survivor. Joel Waldman is with us. Great to see you both. I wanted to put just a little more.
You ever watch Surviving the Survivor?
Yeah, on occasion I do.
I like him.
Yeah, I do too.
He's nice, unlike Gray Hughes, who comes on Law and Crime.
If he would just stop, you know?
Yeah.
And he has no clue why people don't want to be watching him. Or he acts like he doesn't.
Yeah. The constant begging. But this guy, for surviving the survivor, the guy's legit. He busts his ass.
Yeah, he's good. He's like
got
real
full display.
professional.
Much more.
Yeah.
Much more. For those who don't know, his mom is a Holocaust survivor. So hence the surviving the survivor.
I didn't know that.
I'll put his link in the chat if anybody wants to check him out.
More of the
Really
flavor of what was going on in their lives, because to me, this video I'm going to show you is very telling for a couple perspectives. First, it's in Aspen, right? Who doesn't want to go to Aspen? But it's also what's happening in the video and what they're talking about. Here's Courtney and Christian in Aspen.
I was sober for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And now why am I not sober? Because of you. Like, but you're hindering my progress.
I need to sit down.
Let go of me. Let go of me. Let go of me.
Okay.
Come on, boy. Let go of me. Like, I can't even, like, I was trying to hit me. They're like, you
don't want to hit me?
Christian, he's saw me, and I know he's looking. I'm fed up with you. I'm fed up. I'm fed up that you treat me. Yes, I'm not mad at you.
You let Moana say some line that affected you.
I didn't let her say anything. You did.
Hey, let's go to Moana right now. Let's pull up.
No, I'm just gonna hear the scene.
No, she's in the group chat. Let's put her on the phone right now.
You dare.
Yeah, you hear me? Keep saying
you do it.
Just stop saying anything. Do it. Just stop saying anything. Just stop saying anything.
I'll pressure.
Come on.
Let me get my.
Ask her. Ask her if I touched her breast yesterday.
Instigative years.
No, you're telling me I touched her breast yesterday. When
You did. I didn't say nothing.
You said I did.
You were leaving. Yo, you were dumb as I actually don't agree with you. Actually, I'm done.
Okay.
Can you send him home?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm done.
Okay, fine.
Done. Because you're costing me money. I didn't do because I got to this house because of you.
You let Moana say some line that.
No, because of you. Flirting with 3 girls.
What 3 girls? What 3 girls? You?
Well, maybe I think that doesn't matter.
You. Milan. I was flirting with Milan.
And she said, hey, come get your mans. She's going to come home with me.
You're lying.
No, I'm not.
You're lying. She said, come get your mans that I was trying to hit on Milan. Come on, baby.
Okay.
It doesn't make
Yo,
sense.
come on. Christian, you're fired.
So they're in Aspen, a young couple. Like that's amazing. But then she's talking about battling sobriety now for 2 weeks. She fires him from her OnlyFans page. All of this is taking place in front of someone. Joel, how would you describe the life that Courtney Clenney was living? You know, going back 2016, going flash forward through those 6 years. What is going on in her life?
I mean, she was obviously becoming a social media, quote unquote, superstar celebrity, and I'll let the therapist diagnose her. But I come from a family of a father who's a psychiatrist and mother who's a social worker. And I said this last time I was on your show. I mean, my diagnosis is psycho. I mean, she's just crazy. When you watch all these different videos, almost in every one, and I can't recall a single one where Christian Obumseli is actually hitting her. He's always in a defensive posture, trying to calm her down, trying to quell her anger. But, you know, she's very antagonistic. You see here, just constantly pushing and shoving him. And look, I don't know what went on in their private life, but whatever it was between those periods of time, when you showed that photo from 2016 to 2022, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that Courtney deteriorated for exactly what reason is still unclear.
All right, Dr. Janie.
I also want to point out that in the body cam footage that we watched on the last live, they have 2 dogs. Or they had 2 dogs. And at least one of them was extremely protective of Toby, of Christian. The police officers had a hard time getting that particular dog away from Toby.
Yeah, that was a mess.
So, I mean, that kind of also can kind of tell you the dynamics of their relationship when one is very protective. Just wanted to point that out there.
Lacey, they've got lots of money. She's got access to cash. She's got access to drugs. There's open discussions about doing drugs, battling sobriety. You've got her, you know, making money, making OnlyFans videos. And for those of you who haven't been on it, good. You don't need to necessarily go on it, but it kind of looks like this without the clothes. What are your thoughts? What went wrong here, Dr. Janie Lacey?
Well, Vinny, when we think about her public persona, right, that we're watching, that she had to appear and project success and influence, when we also see the contrast, right? They had so many private struggles in her life, and to maintain and the pressure to curate these online images, we also can hear that there's a lot of challenges with substance use concerns, right? We know that even in the video that you just played, there's this history of substance use. She's talking about her sobriety and including her alleged cocaine issue. And we know when there's substance use, that can significantly impact impulse and control, the emotional regulation. We saw her completely out of control in this video. But when we're looking at that relationship from her substance use, where it's going to conflict with her creating and what we're seeing, this heightened sense of violence. So when we're looking at their relationship pattern, and it's all documented as we are seeing today, right? There's this violence pattern, and then there's multiple documentations that indicate there's physical altercations between the two of them. And we know the basic of a toxic relationship, that breakup and that makeup, that breakup and that makeup, and those escalating patterns of that conflict, which ultimately led to the fatal incident, which was key because it was escalation, as we can see, that's documented in the videos.
I want to play one more of the videos. This is from some body cam because police were called. This is before she stabs him. I think it's the day before, talking about the living arrangements and whose apartment it is and who's in charge when it comes to the wallet.
He has belongings in there. He has belongings in there with you, right? He has property?
So
you have property in your apartment?
In my apartment, yes, and I put $10,000 worth for it. He does pay zero for it. Yes. So I will have, I will happily, I don't care what happens. I don't want everything.
Let me answer this for
So she's paying $10,000 a month for the apartment. He's paying nothing. Joel, what we're seeing in the world right now, right, is especially the world of social media influencers and, you know, YouTubers, these young adults, some of them not even adults. I mean, they are making millions of dollars at such a young age and having access to everything that brings you. It's not easy for anyone to handle that much cash that quickly, but that's a big part of her life. They moved from Texas to this part of Miami, which is extremely exclusive.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you're sort of rubbing it in a little bit, Vinny, because I've got 3 little kids. My youngest, he watches a guy named Ben A on YouTube, who's I read is earning about $24 to $30 million a year just making dumb kid videos. So it is a different world, Vinny, than when you and I and the therapist grew up. Completely different. I happen to know people because I'm living in Miami, about 2 miles from where that apartment building is, but I know 2 people who are living there at the same time. And listen, everyone in that building, according to these friends of mine, knew who they were. They were constantly fighting, constantly arguing. The police were constantly coming by. She was reportedly making upwards of $2 million a year. He was a quote unquote crypto trader, which is a common phrase here in Miami, but by all accounts was not making a lot of money. She was a breadwinner. And I guess the pressure started to get to her and she just became more and more unhinged.
All right. My guests are staying with us when we come back. Why did Christian stay?
Well, maybe you have your answer.
Because they all it was the girl,
Because he loved her.
Last night, I know that she said you want to go downstairs. I'll go downstairs. I don't know. I think it's wrong, you know. It's like heat of the moment, you know.
I understand. People got upset he doesn't have enough.
I love the girl. Like, I know something different. It's different, y'all. But it was the girl. Like, so
Incredibly sad and tragic when you think about that moment right there. There's Christian Obumseli talking to police about her, Courtney, throwing a bottle at his head. And in like his next breath, he's talking about how he loves her. How he loves her. I mean, it's not the first time we've seen a situation like this. What makes this different is generally we don't see men as the victims of domestic violence. Historically, we don't. Now we do, but it's still, he's a big, strong man, but he's the victim. She's throwing a bottle at him. Take a listen to this. This is an exchange of text messages that we had our producers read between Christian Obumseli and Courtney Clenney. He's in the hospital because of her at the moment that this text is going back and forth, and she's out on the town. Take a listen.
Hopefully, this will give you time to think about your actions. Enjoy the hospital. Tell them your side, then I'll tell them what happened.
I'm not saying anything.
LMAO. You should.
I'm going now. I'm gonna say football incident.
And then leave me the alone. Okay? Have fun?
Baby, can you come with me? I lost a lot of blood.
Let me know how it goes. See you later.
Yeah, I got you.
You keep up. How does it feel?
I need you. I don't feel good, Court. Can you come?
Same. Oh well.
Courtney, I don't feel good. Come, I'm scared.
Nah, you're not. Why'd you do it? Have a good night.
From getting stabbed multiple times to forgiving and being forgived. Marriage talks, kids talks, vulnerable to you. This is what I deserve? Babe, I was in the hospital and you went to Midtown and slept somewhere for the night. Why, Courtney, why?
Unbelievable, right? He's in the hospital. She's out on the town with somebody else.
That bitch.
Ooh. Ugh. It just makes me even more mad. I didn't know it was possible.
So she's done this before.
Well, and like the time that I don't know if this is, I don't think this is the same time when she did it to his leg and he was out in the lobby wherever they were all night long. I think that was a different
He was
one.
stabbed multiple times. He probably told them it was something else, like it said, a football injury.
Ugh, that's so sad.
And oh my God.
What? What?
That's just as like, really?
Oh,
Really? Like,
something happened. Yeah. She's gross.
I hope they interviewed the hospital staff about this.
I hope so too. I can't wait to see whoever was videotaping that one, to see him on the stand. Or I think it was a man, but
Yeah, I don't know.
but yeah, the hospital staff would be interesting too.
Or at least the hospital records on that. Because in the
Yeah.
text, he's saying that it was a stabbing multiple times. Clearly, she was comfortable stabbing him. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Otherwise, I'm going to get worse here.
Oops. Okay.
And then that text exchange. That brings me to our next question of our investigation. Why did Christian stay? I mean, from everything we're seeing here, and obviously the defense has their own side, but he's in a toxic relationship at a minimum. He's the one that ends up getting stabbed in the leg, hit in the head with a bottle. He's the one that seems to be getting the brunt of all of this. My guest still with us, psychotherapist Dr. Janie Lacey and podcast host Joel Walden, Surviving the Survivor. Dr. Janie Lacey, is this classic domestic violence, and is this something that should not be expected, that the one who's getting abused stays?
Well, Vinny, leaving in these toxic relationships is not that easy. It's not that simple, I should say. You know, there's a term that we use and we call it trauma bonding. And when we think about it, sometimes these things happen way before any violence, physical violence shows up in the relationship, where there's these emotional attachments that the couple can form with each other because they have these cycles of abuse and reconciliation. And then what that happens biologically, right? The dopamine system, there's these periods of high, what we would look at these extreme highs, or sometimes we hear in society that called love bombing, the loving behavior, which is also followed by these extreme lows, which can include the violent behavior, right? So it's just come here, go away. And it creates this toxic attachment that they have in this relationship. But what happens in this intermittent reinforcement is it strengthens the emotional attachment. So it's not that easy to leave. And then when we see those psychological barriers for people leaving, which they know is maybe not the healthiest relationship for them, is hope, right? They hope that based off of their relationship, there's periods where the relationship actually is good, or there are periods of improvement. So they hang on to these moments of time, just wishing for those moments to come back. And then we also look at they have an emotional investment in the relationship. And especially when it comes to men that potentially are the victims of domestic violence, is they can minimize some of the risk that happens because they're supposed to be strong, or, you know, they're the man in the relationship. And then the abuse that can happen by their female counterpart is usually gradual over time. So it's not that easy to just leave when you know it's not a healthy relationship.
Yeah, and based upon the information that we received, Joel, I mean, this was not the first time that he was stabbed. That he was stabbed in the thigh once by her during another one of their fights that they had. The other part of the relationship, though, is that she's making all the money. So there's the money aspect, right? She's an OnlyFans model, but they engaged in some of this conduct together on camera as well, expressing their, I guess, feelings for each other. What do you think it was from the outside looking in that kept him hooked on Courtney?
I think part of it was the fact that she's got this quote unquote social media celebrity, which is a very expensive currency in today's world with younger people. So I think he was attracted to that. I mean, look, they're in their late 20s, so they're adults, but they're really kids. They haven't experienced life fully yet. And, I'm sure he had fallen for her from a physical standpoint, didn't realize the extent of what was happening with all the violence. I was in Orlando covering the Sarah Boone trial. That's a case where, a boyfriend was zipped into.
That was a crazy one. Oh my God.
Yes, it was.
Did you watch that?
Yeah. That was wild. Did you watch the Wade Wilson trial?
I didn't.
No.
I've,
All that
I've,
was kind
I've
of going
seen.
on at the same time, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch him, but I know enough to know that guy is out of his mind.
Yeah.
But Sarah Boone, oh,
Yeah, that was wild.
all I could do was laugh throughout the whole thing because she's just.
She's way out there. Talk about no self awareness.
I mean, she literally went through like every attorney possible.
Mm-hmm.
I swear. Nuts.
To a suitcase. So we do see cases, as you said, Vinny, of domestic violence cutting the other way. And we had just now Dr. Lenore Walker on our program. She literally wrote the book Battered Woman Syndrome, but you could put battered boyfriend syndrome or substitute any other word. Looks like Courtney Clenney was taking all her aggression out on this guy. Again, all these videos, he seems to be trying to quell the violence and just can't seem to get a hold of her to calm her down enough.
Yeah, and Dr. Janie Lacey, I mean, there were some serious physical injuries. I mean, he was stabbed once before, knocked in the head with a phone. We heard another one. We heard about the bottles being thrown. Extremely dangerous stuff. And on the other hand, a lot of it seems to be fueled by the jealousy that she has in this relationship.
When you look at these relationships, when there's substance use going on, and then they're actually working together, and as we've also heard, their lives are intertwined financially, he's relying on her, and then these situations happen. When we see the person who's being abused in a relationship, they can make, in their mind, make sense as to why that person is doing those things to them, which minimizes the depths of the risk that we're seeing that has happened in their relationship. So, and then we heard the video that you played earlier that he was talking about how he deeply loved her. Overlooking a lot of these dangerous situations because of him believing that he loved her and probably thought he understood where she was coming from and allowing and accommodating some of this bad behavior.
We are out of time. Big thank you. Dr. Janie Lacey and Joel Waldman, Surviving the Survivor. Thank you both. Relationships are often complicated. What the outside world sees is many times different in private. So even though Courtney and Christian were living very public lives, their darkest secrets were shielded from fans. But now it will be up to a complete set of strangers to figure out their private lives in a very public trial. I'm Vinny Politan. We'll keep digging for answers as the investigation continues.
All right, so that's that. Ooh.
My hair is so wild today. I see it string over. Try to fix it. Okay.
I can't tell.
I try not to look at it, but I saw.
It's so hard when you see yourself on camera and you're not used to it. You're like, you want to mess with it, and then it's like, I don't want to keep messing with my hair because that's gross.
People
And
think I'm just staring at myself.
I have to have sanitizer because I want to keep touching things like my glasses that I do. Yeah, I get it. Seeing your face, you're not used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of had to, when I first started this, I had to force myself to start.
Oh, yeah.
rewatching my videos.
Yeah, that's hard.
So now I just kind of skip through them because I'm used to it.
Yeah.
But it was hard. It was hard at first.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
I'm
So then I
sure.
have one more. This
Okay.
is the last one. It's not very long. Well, it says 10 minutes. It'll probably be cut down to 5 or 6. It's the top 3 key moments. It gets it shared.
Stop messing with my hair now.
So top 3 key moments. And this is from 3 years ago. So it's not gonna be like bombshell information, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of want to see what they have to say. This one I didn't see.
So we got to check into that FOIA request.
For
her. Remember?
But
right?
FOIA for what?
Do we have to wait till after the trial's over to get like
I
her
don't
phone
know.
calls?
Like the jail calls?
Yeah.
Oh, can you look on what's her name? Plunder?
Uh-huh.
Do you know, have you seen Plunder?
Yeah.
Because Plunder might have it.
Oh, okay. I'll look later. I'm going to pay attention to but I'll see.
Yeah.
That way we don't waste time.
That the state attorney's office, beginning the day after Ms. Clenney's arrest, mobilized the media and utilized them as a tool. It's clear that the family of the decedent in this case also did the same.
Courtney Clenney, the OnlyFans model accused of murdering her boyfriend, Christian Obumseli, asked to keep the public from seeing the evidence prosecutors have gathered against her, calling some of it salacious and sexually explicit. So what happened with this request in court, and how could it impact the case? I'm Anjanette Levy, and welcome to Law and Crime Sidebar Podcast. Courtney Clenney is the OnlyFans model who's back in Florida after being arrested in Hawaii. She is there to face a second-degree murder charge for the death of her boyfriend, Christian Obumseli. And I know that you've all seen that video in the elevator of her hitting him and him appearing to just kind of back up and not really take part in this fight. We read court documents that showed that this was a very tumultuous relationship. So Clenney is an OnlyFans model. So she's apparently got a lot of stuff on her phone that's sexually explicit. It's material of her doing things, I guess, as part of her job. And her lawyer, Frank Pietro, asked that this be kept secret. He doesn't want it out there. And he asked the court for an order limiting what would be released to the public.
They did a cell phone download of Ms. Clenney's phone, which is going to contain hundreds, this generation, hundreds, probably thousands of text messages. It's also going to contain content that she would use on her OnlyFans site, which has nothing to do with the events of August 3rd, 2022. I'm sorry, April 3rd, 2022, when Ms. Clenney had to defend herself. It's going to contain, this drop of discovery I'm submitting a terabyte drive to state is going to contain personal text messages with her family, friends, third parties that have nothing to do with this case. And that's going to be subject to Chapter 119. And the media, through Ed Griffith and the state attorney's office, they're going to send links to the media. Here's your public records request link to this video. And it's going to contain information that is highly inflammatory.
I know it feels like there are a million streaming services out there, but if you are looking for true crime content, Magellan TV is the place for you. Magellan TV is can actually watch How to Catch a Serial Killer. It's where a British killer. Again, that's MagellanTV.com/law and crime. The Miami Herald was in court to argue against this request. You know, they think that there should be no limit on the public disclosure because this evidence is usually available to the public in Florida. But Frank Prieto talked about an email that his office actually received discussing Courtney Clenney and her culpability. So let's listen to what he had to say about that.
Judge, I received, just to talk about the impact of releasing these drips of discovery, I received somebody on August 14th was so impacted by the release of this video that they felt the need to go to my website and click on the ability to send me an email. And it says, sorry, bud, but Courtney is going away for murder. After seeing the earlier video of that elevator, there's no way her self-defense story holds up. She's a psycho that needs to be locked up. I've got, this is not the only one, but this is the intention that this garnered. Somebody felt the need to go and communicate with me directly because of this video.
And Courtney Clenney lost this battle. This is what the judge had to say about her request.
Based on argument presented here, based on written pleadings, the legal authority, and the declarations respectfully, the motion for a protective order and injunctive relief is denied.
And joining me to discuss this is Bryant
Yeah,
Camarillo.
I don't
He's a defense
see
attorney in the
anything.
Tampa area, and he's been.
I did a quick search for the jail calls. Yeah, I don't see anything either. I
no.
did even just a general like YouTube search and a Google search, but nothing's coming up.
Yeah.
Um,
We can check into that.
those FOIA requests, I mean, I know how to do them, but
Maybe you can I mean, I tried it once, but I don't even know if I did it correctly. You can show me how to do it and see what we can find, if anything.
I mean, you can literally just Google Courtney Clenney FOIA requests.
Oh, and find it?
And find it.
Okay.
How to do it. Or like I just Googled how to do a FOIA request.
Uh-huh. And I think when I did it, that one time I did it correctly, but I sent it to the wrong place. So I just need to make sure I'm sending it to the right place.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
I did find another thing that we'll do on the next live too.
Okay. I saw a documentary I came across a minute ago.
Yeah, I have a documentary from TMZ also.
Following the case. So, Bryant, welcome back to Sidebar. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bryant, have you ever made a request like this in all of your years as a defense attorney to limit what the public can see from the discovery in the case?
Absolutely. There have been many occasions, and this would be an example of one time where I would try to emphasize to keep this out because I don't think it's relevant to the case, number one. Number two, it potentially exposes the public, potential jurors, to a part of her life that may not be relevant and could taint the jurors way before they're even selected. So again, some jurors are more prudish, more conservative than others, and they might just want to convict her just based on her occupation or her career alone. And so I can see why Mr. Prieto is moving to exclude this.
But he lost. He had argued basically that this isn't, the old days of the newspaper just coming out once or twice a day. We have social media now. We have social media used to drive readers, drive traffic to websites. So he's saying we live in a different world now. But obviously the judge is saying no dice. Are you surprised by that?
No, I'm not I'm not surprised by his argument, and I'm not surprised that the judge ruled the way he did because the First Amendment, unfortunately, trumps everything else. And so here, the Miami Herald had standing. The public has the right to know everything, but it is a balancing test. The judge would have to balance her right to a fair trial. So I think what's going to happen is obviously he denied the request to keep that out, but during the trial, my guess is that he's going to deny being introduced as evidence. So I think the public has the right to know the whole story, everything about her life. It's out there anyway. It's public domain. So I don't think the judge had any standing or any legal reason to preclude the Miami Herald or any news source from publishing this material.
Obviously, even if it's not admitted as evidence in the case, it's still part of the public record because of the discovery laws in the state of Florida. But I guess his concern is this could taint a potential jury pool. They may look at her a certain way. There may be people who get a picture in their minds of who she is, and maybe it won't be a sympathetic one. I'm assuming that's the concern here.
I agree. And again, that's why it makes perfect sense that Mr. Prieto will do this, because again, some jurors may not appreciate what she does for a living. And again, I'm not here to judge anyone, but some jurors they might prejudge her. And imagine if they're selected and then they carry that with them inside the jury selection, the jury box, even though they swear that they'll only consider the evidence. We're all human. So I can see again why Mr. Prieto wants the public not to see that part of her life.
So what do you expect moving forward? We know what we know about the case. I'm sure there's tons of discovery that we don't have or don't have access to. Moving forward, I guess all that the defense attorney can do at this point is keep his head down and tell his client to do the same so that they don't feed the fire of whatever news coverage is out there.
Right. Well, I can expect Mr. Prieto filing several motions in limine to not only keep all of the videos out or all of the content out, but maybe even specific ones out. So, for example, the judge may find that some of these are relevant and others are not. And so I can see the judge maybe on a case by case basis, video per video. For example, let's just say there's a video out there where she's mimicking killing someone as an example. I could see, in whatever context she filmed it as an example, I can see the judge saying, well, that's going to come in because that's relevant. It could be probative to show that she had the state of mind to hurt somebody. So I can see the defense attorneys filing several motions in limine to, again, either keep them all out or one by one select, okay, which ones are relevant, which ones are not, without losing his objection and to keep trying to keep them all out. So lots of motions I think are going to be filed between now and December.
Yeah, and this trial is set for December. Do you see the trial actually happening in December, or do you think it gets pushed back?
In Tampa, for example, we're backlogged. So Miami, from what I understand, I've practiced in Miami and I have cases in Miami now. They're pretty busy, but I think that this case has priority. So I'm pretty sure the judge, absent any, from either party not being ready, I can see it going in December because it is a priority case. There's victims involved, there's victims' families involved, and everyone wants closure. So I can see the judge pushing this along and making sure that everything's done by December. Now, again, if either party's not ready, then I would anticipate a motion to continue, but not likely. There's plenty of time to get things done.
Well, Bryant Camarillo, defense attorney in the Tampa area, following this case closely. Thank you so much for coming on to talk with us about it. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me.
And that's it for this edition of Law and Crime Sidebar Podcast. It is produced by Sam Goldberg and Logan Harris. Bobby Zoki is our YouTube manager. Kiera Bronson handles our social media. And Alyssa Fisher handles our bookings. You can listen to Sidebar on Apple, Spotify, Google, and wherever else you get your podcast. You can also watch it, as always, on Law and Crime's YouTube channel. I'm Anjanette Levy, and we will see you next time.
Okay, so I found something that might help you in regards to FOIA. Stop. Let me close that out. And I'll email this to you.
Okay.
Right here. Muck Rock. Oh, gotta share it. Heather. Muck Rock.
Muck Rock.
When I Googled Courtney Clenney FOIA request, Muck Rock was the first thing that came up. It came up public requests, public records request, and then it this individual emailed the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office of Florida with all of this information that they requested. This is what you see in the email, right? And then their response and, what they responded with.
Okay.
And they sent that individual 5 things. They didn't send the
phone
they didn't
records.
send jail calls, but to do a FOIA request.
I can't remember if we have to wait till the trial's over, do we? To get those?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Every state's different.
Yeah.
They'll likely want to keep as much as they can close to the vest.
I'm trying to remember on the Wade Wilson. I don't think they weren't released till after his trial was over. Yeah.
Yeah, but what's his name? There was one that they were releasing his jail calls before he had trial, and he didn't even go to trial. It was supposed to be in July. It was that real sick pervert.
Oh, Stearns.
Yeah.
Stephen Stearns. Yeah.
Yep.
He's out of Florida. Yep. That's true.
Yep.
So I'm thinking we probably can get them.
So I emailed you that
Okay. I'll check
Muck
it out.
Rock example thing,
Okay.
that they did for Courtney Clenney. And you can click, I think, on that link.
Okay.
Try it. The Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office. Yeah, there's a link to email available. Blah, blah, blah. Follow that link. Use that as an example.
Okay. I'll check it out. Yeah, I got the email.
And
That would be interesting to have, I think.
what's that?
Her phone records. Because I'm nosy.
I want to make sure that that went through. If it would show me the sent ones, that'd be awesome.
Show you the
There we
what?
are. Yep, it went through. I emailed that to you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so for the next one, I've already got set up an article, the little video, and a Nancy Grace thing to go over.
Okay.
And then anything else we find.
Yeah.
And I'll do some research, look into like any preliminary hearings that we can find as well.
Alrighty.
And then other than that, I think we're good. This has gone on 2.5 hours, so I think we're good.
And it's almost going to be here 2 more months, and it'll be
I know.
here. What other
Almost
one
2
are we
months to the day.
waiting for?
What?
What other cases coming up that we've been kind of paying attention to?
Well, there's the LISC. I don't know when that's happening.
The who?
LISC, the Long Island serial killer.
Oh, yeah.
There's
There was somebody else that was coming up.
Tupac,
Mm,
the guy that is accused of killing Tupac.
yeah, I didn't know that one was coming
That's
up.
coming up in February.
Oh, okay. I can't remember who I'm thinking of. I can't think right now.
I'm sure there's others.
Yeah.
Okay,
Trying to think.
good. Other than that, I think we'll close it out and hopefully see anybody in a couple days.
Thank you.
Fingers crossed.
Bye.
All right. Bye.